Hi everyone, I'm Pete Collins and welcome to this disc golf course walkthrough of Inverness Disc Golf Course in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, so on hole number 1, what I would suggest is go up the hill and start at the red tees instead of the blue tees if it's your first time on this course, because the blue tees are a lot longer and a lot harder. But from the blue tees here, you're going to go up the hill and hang a left, but the distance is 573 feet for the A basket and 518 feet for the blue basket. Off the tee pad, your goal is going to be to go up the hill, try to avoid the line which represents OB on the right, and find a good safe landing place up here. Now if you get up here, you're going to be right in line with the second tee pad, which is the red tee pads, the shorter tee pads, at 289 and 273 feet for A and B. So off the pad, you're going to try to throw a nice straight shot, avoid the right side down the hill as OB, and hopefully land somewhere in this area where you're going to have a good second shot straight ahead to basket A, right here in the middle. Now you could also, if it's on B, you're going to land right here and then go up over this hill and try to land somewhere in this area where this basket is. And that's hole number 1. Hole number 2, from the blue tees, is almost twice as long as from the red tees. And this is a hilly hole, so it can really wear you out. So if you start from the blue tees, keep in mind it's 571 feet to the long position and 442 feet to the short position. From the tee pad, your main goal is just to try to control the shot over this ravine, so hopefully you can land in a clear spot on this next hill, which is nearby the red tee pad. If you can do that, then you're going to have a good look down the fairway, and you're going to have an opportunity to see the basket over on the left in the short position. But more than likely, it's going to be in the long position up on the top of this hill over the second ravine. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is it's very steep up here, and your discs like to roll back down the hill. From the red tee pad, it's 321 feet to the long position and 193 feet to the short. Same type of throw, you're going to go right down the middle. Hopefully you'll get a good landing in the middle here so that then you have a nice approach shot up this steep hill and land somewhere here. Just be careful how your disc lands so it doesn't roll back down the hill. And that's hole number 2. Okay, hole number 3, we're going to start with the red tee because that's the first one you'll walk up from on number 2. And the distance from this tee pad is A is 230 and B is 268. Now, since that tree has fallen, it's a pretty straightforward shot. You still got some trees to watch out for, but your goal is to try to throw it right down the middle and land somewhere on this hill. So you've got a nice approach to this basket. Just be aware you don't want to go past the basket too much because you get a lot of rolls down into that deep ravine. Now, from the blue tees, you've got a 229-foot shot or a 266-foot shot to the basket. You've got to be a little more precise to miss these 2 field goal trees, but once again, land in this area here is always nice to have a smooth approach to the basket. But also be aware that there is another basket, the B basket, that's back here, but it hasn't been used for a while because of downed trees. But know that that is the second basket placement for hole number 3. Here we have hole number 4. And from this tee pad, we have 333 feet for A and 282 feet to B. And it's pretty much a straight shot, but you've really got to kind of maneuver through the trees to get down to the basket. So this is going to test your skills a little bit more. So from the top of the tee pad here, there's going to be a good bit of elevation change. You're going to go down the hill, which is going to cause your disc to glide more and want to veer off to the left if you're a right-handed thrower. So you want to control it and try to land in this area. There's the collar for the first basket, and here's the second basket sitting back here. I also want to watch out for a little roll away of your disc at the end down the hill. From the red tee, we're going to be 246 and 192. And this one's a little tighter but closer, straight through this tunnel of trees. A good idea is to try to land in the middle here so that it slides into the first basket right there, or carries on down a little bit farther to go down to basket number 2 right here in the back. Once again, watch how your disc lands so it doesn't go sliding down the hill, and that is hole number 4. Hole number 5 from the blue actually has 3 pins that you can throw to, and A and B are actually in the long placement at 343 and 310. There's going to be a shorter one that I'll show you in just a moment. But from here, you really just want to set up so that you can throw a nice straight shot through this tunnel miss those trees on the right and left, just get you in the open gap right down the middle. Now, pretty much once you get to here, it's very similar to your tee pad for the red tees, which is set up in pretty much the same setup. And you're going to want to just get right through this gap and carry over this field and over this road. And there's your first basket, and your second basket is just down that little slope right by the water. So you really got to be careful how your disc lands for the second basket. But really, most of the time, the basket's going to be shorter to avoid any traffic that goes on that road, and it's going to be tucked right back in here. So from the elevation change, it's really a quick drop-off right to this basket off to your right. It's a fun, short little hole that you could score a nice birdie if you get a good throw, and that's hole number 5. Hole number 6 is kind of the center of the course where a lot of people will meet up. It's the most open and kind of gets your arm ready for some of the pine trees and tighter courses. So a lot of people will start on this hole. From the long position here, you'll see A is 384 feet, and that is the main basket that we will play most of the time. B being 336, but it's more of a practice basket while people are waiting to meet up with folks. You can see right here, it's pretty much you're trying to throw a tunnel shot to the right or maybe go over the top of those bushes. But look at the difference the seasons make as I took this video later on where there's a lot less greenery and it's a straight shot through that tunnel. You're simply going to try to throw it straight down and snuggle up to the basket right here. Now from the shorter tee pad, the red tee pad, it's about 233, sorry the sign's so bad, and about 180 something to the practice basket. But it's very simple from this tee pad, just right down the middle with a little fade off to the left, avoiding the creek, and snuggle right up to the basket. So it's a great starter hole to get your arm warmed up and enjoy the course here at Inverness, hole number 6. Okay, so here's hole number 7, and it can be another hole that a lot of people start with because it's right by some of the parking. But I would once again caution you to try to maybe start on the red holes because they're so much shorter and don't frustrate you quite so much if this is your first go around. However, if you've played it before, you might want to test out your skills in being able to throw a little bit longer at 519 feet and 480 feet respectively for the two different baskets on hole number 7. So from the long position here, you're going to throw up the hill, try to avoid that tree that's been hit by everybody and their brother. Get up here and hopefully land in an area up here where you've got to look at the fairway straight ahead. Or you could decide to just come over here and start at the red tee, which is going to be more of a straight shot. The distances are going to be 249 and 291 respectively. And you'll see the basket tucked behind that pine tree straight ahead. So a nice smooth shot down the middle will set you up for a good look at the basket. Miss those few trees here and land somewhere in this area here. Will give you a nice easy par if you can manage it without missing any tree, without hitting any trees. If the basket's going to be off to the right, you're going to come up here and then fade off to the right. So a good forehand if you're right-handed, or a good lefty hole. And the basket's going to be tucked down this hill a little bit in this little cubby hole. Just got to watch out for some trees, but it makes for a fun little hole and can get a good score if you've got a good forehand or a good left-handed throw. And that's hole number 7. Hole number 8 can be a very frustrating hole. It's straightforward at first glance, but it really is tricky because of the very hard dog leg up the hill and the slope of the short basket. Both positions offer some treacherous opportunities. From A, it's 460 feet, and B, it's 375 from the blue tee pad. From this tee pad, your real goal is to miss these early trees and just really try to aim to hopefully get on the top of this hill so you can get a good look around the corner. But it's very similar from the red tee pad, just a little closer, that you're really going to aim for the B basket regardless if you're going for A, because it's about the same throw. You're just trying to get up over this hill, avoid these trees on the left, because if you cut it too close to the left, you're never going to have a chance to get around the corner and look at the basket. So you want to miss right if you're going to miss anywhere, but also watch out for the landing here by B. It wants to take your disc and roll it down the hill into the jungle. If you happen to land in this area and you're going for the longer basket, you're now going to throw up the hill, avoid this big knotty tree, but anything just past that tree is going to be great because the basket's going to be right back here in this open area. And it really has a chance for you to have a good score on one day and just have a miserable score on the next day. So it actually is a pretty fun hole, and that's hole number 8. Hole number 9, as you can see, is 377 and 379 from the blue tees. But where the basket is can really make a difference on how you play this hole and your score a lot of times. From the tee pad, no matter which one you're going for, you really got to show control through this middle here. You want to miss to the right if you're going to miss anywhere, because left is just going to be jail with all those bushes and the creek to the left. Ideally, you're going to land in this area here so you have a look at the basket straight ahead or off to the right up the hill. If you're going straight ahead, you're just going to avoid these trees, try to land in this area, but be aware this hill loves to take discs and roll them down into the creek. So be very careful with the way your disc lands as you're approaching this basket. From the red tee, you're 175 and 187, so pretty close to the basket, not real long, but you've got to be very precise with your throws because of all these trees that just want to knock your disc down. Straight ahead, you've only got a couple trees you got to get by, but they're pretty early on, can really mess up your throw. For this one up the hill, these guardian trees can really knock your disc and have it roll down the hill. So it makes a unique blend between the blue and the red tees and how this hole plays, but it's a fun hole, and that's hole number 9. Hole number 10 is interesting that it's really almost two completely different holes, whether you're going to play the blue or the red. They're the farthest tee pads away from each other, and most people usually decide by laziness. And what that means is if the number 9 basket is at B, they walk down the hill to tee pad blue 10, or if it's at A, they'll go up the hill slightly to the red tee pad number 10. But if you look at number 10 blue, it's 391 and 371, so a pretty long hole, and it's dead arrow straight right down the fairway. And so if we set up on the tee pad, we see the biggest thing is to get it right down the middle, control your flight, keep it nice and smooth. Unlike my drone flying right here, get through these trees and land in this area to have a nice approach shot right here to the short position at number 10. Now for a completely different hole, you go up the hill and the red position is 233 and 250, but it's downhill, and so it really plays a lot closer. So you want to throw it a little bit softer and keep the nose down a little bit. From the tee pad, you're going to throw it, try to miss this guardian tree right in the middle. We've lost a few trees, that's opened it up a little bit more, but you want to try to aim maybe to get down to this little stump down here right in the middle of the fairway, so you have a good look at the basket on the right over here, tucked in the trees, or you're going to have a great opportunity to throw across this little creek and into this dance floor where basket number 10 long position is going to be. And it's a fun little course, but as you can see, it's two entirely different holes depending on whether you play blue or red tees. Okay, hole number 11, the blue tees, you're looking at 287 and 331, so pretty decent length, but what makes it hard from here is how tight it is, and these early trees can really beat up your disc and frustrate your game because you've got a tight tunnel to get through, you hit these trees and they knock you into the jungle, and you really feel like you've made it somewhere if you get up into this area that you can breathe a little bit. Now if you start at the red tee pad, it's a lot closer at 149 and 193 and a lot easier shot shaping. You can either go to the right, we've lost a few trees so there's an opening up high, or most people come this way and maybe let the ground help shape their shot, push it back over into this basket. However, a lot of times the basket will be set up in the second position, which is up on this ledge, which can lead to a lot of unique shots that bounce off this wall of stuff and roll down the hill. So you really got to be careful in shaping your shot coming into that basket, and that's hole number 11. Hole number 12 is our longest hole on the course. If you play the blues to the A basket at 593, it's a long hole through a lot of trees, or even to B, it's 354. So it can be a long, frustrating hole. Because there are a lot of early trees that can mess you up. So if you look at it from the tee pad, you're just saying don't hit these trees on the right, don't hit these trees on the right or the left, all the way down. If you can get past that tree right there on the right, you can breathe a little bit easier, and then you try your second shot maybe to come in through here and snuggle up to that basket. Unless you got to keep going back to this one way back here. You just keep going and going through these trees and fight your way up here. And you get to the basket that's tucked right over here to the right a little bit. Sorry, imprecise with my drone flying at the end there, but that's how long it is. But it's a completely different creature on this one because it's only a short throw from the basket, from the tee pad, just right through this gap of trees and just snuggle into this basket here. It's actually one of the easiest holes on the course. So two entirely different creatures depending on which tee pad you play and which basket is set up. And that's hole number 12. Okay, hole number 13 is short and sweet, pretty simple from both sides. Really, A and B are almost the same distance from the blue tee pad. And so you're going to throw about the exact same shot for each of them with a little fade off to the left if it's B. So you stand up on the tee pad, and the main thing is to miss the bush and those early trees, get through the gap, and hope it fights through these trees to land in this area here to nestle up near this basket, or fade off to the left to get to the other basket. Be aware the roots and the slope can often pick up the disc and have it roll into weird places. Now from the red tee pad, you've got a little bit more downhill shot, 196 to the close one and 248 to the long one, but your throws really aren't going to be that much difference because of the elevation change. You really just want to control it so that it lands in this nice area here and maybe snuggles up to the basket for an easier putt, or it's going to carry on down here, or it could roll down into this area so that you have a nice look at this long position. But overall, pretty straightforward hole that has some good opportunities for some funkiness with the trees and the rolls. But that's hole number 13. Okay, hole number 14 has added a new basket. So besides the 292 and 264, there's a third one off to the right that's probably about 275-ish, I'm guessing. But so now we have one straight, a little bit left up to the top of the hill, one in the middle, and now one hard to the right. So from this basket, you're going to throw it up the hill, and you're really going to try to just get over this hill. So you got to look at things. There's the basket off to the right, and we'll look at from the red tee. Or if you can get all the way up here, you can now look down this cove to the middle basket, or carry on up the hill to the top basket up here. And those are going to be pretty straightforward. You're going to see them all from the top of that hill. But now if you're at the red tee, the biggest thing is you're going to try to miss this early tree, and then miss the second early tree and get by it. Whoop! Swing around here, and it's great for a lefty, or if you can throw a forehand, to swing it on around here and curve it back down here to this nice little area around the newest basket at hole number 14. 3 different looks, 3 different baskets, hole number 14. Hole number 15 is another one of these dual character holes depending on the tee placement and the basket placement. For the long blue, it's 394 and 463 respectively. The biggest thing about this is to watch your terrain once to throw things down to the left. So you want to keep it a little bit to the right and don't do like I do with my drone and hit these trees on the left. But you want to come on down here, land in this area, put you in a good place to look at that basket off to the right, or turn the corner and come down here to the B placement on this peninsula. But be aware that right behind the basket is a big drop off that can send your disc rolling. Now from the red placement, especially if the basket's at the A position, you're going to have a great opportunity for a birdie, if not an ace run, if you've got enough arm to just get it right through the gap, nice and straight. But do be aware that this ground loves to pick up a disc and send it rolling down towards the B position, which can be helpful if that's where you're going. But otherwise, watch your landings, and that's hole number 15. Hole 16 is pretty straightforward from the blues if you're going for B. It's 219 straight ahead, just got to miss some trees. A is a little more treacherous with the water behind it at 231. But I also want to shout out to Tom Monroe, who was so instrumental in all the stuff here at Birmingham. We hope Huntsville is treating you well, buddy. Take care. So now, from the tee pad, number one thing, miss these early trees. Then you can get in the gap here and hopefully land on this little area right here so you can look at the basket either straight ahead or off to the right. Now off to the right, just be aware, there's water behind it. For this one, the biggest thing is to land early so that you don't blow past it and roll and even give yourself a chance to hit water from there. So from the red tee pad, you're looking at 189 and 204, but it's really just a simple straight shot with a little hyzer. Because you're throwing it up high, it's going to want to fade to the left. The biggest danger is hitting that hill and rolling back into the water. But there's the short basket right there, closer to the water. And you really want to make sure that you can get up on this top ledge if you're throwing to this basket to avoid any runoff back down to the water. But that's hole number 16. Okay, so if you're going to play the blue tees, number 17 here proves once again that it's an entirely different course because it takes a long throw just to go from the blue tee up to the red tee. And you can see during this season when this picture was taken, there's a lot of greenery between there and the other one. 463 and 474 is one of the reasons why some people are crazy enough to try to throw through the trees, especially when it's less dense like it is right now. But for most normal folks with decent arms, or not so decent arms, we try to go right up the middle here and get close to the red tee pad. From the red tee pad, you can see how much greenery is there for most of the year, and you're really just going to want to try 196, 205, simple throws out here through the middle to set you up to look at the basket. So you got your basket straight ahead or off to the right, and you can see how they're both set on slopes so that if you're not careful with your approaches, they can run down the hill. So if you can make your way over here through the trees, you're going to have a good setup for this basket. And I apologize, I didn't get a good view of the other basket, but know this, it's set on a ridge, so your disc loves to go off to the right, left, or behind that basket if you're not careful with your approach. And that's number 17. Okay, and we finish with hole number 18, which is really a signature hole here at Inverness. A position is 275 and B is 252, but what makes this exciting is a creek that's either in front of A or behind B. From up on the hill here, you want to shape your shot, be careful of getting through those trees, and then it's dealer's choice. Are you going to the right basket or the left basket, depending on what's set up. From the red position, it's 229 or 142. Once again, since it's uphill, you don't have to throw it that hard, and it's a great ace run opportunity if you can get through these trees to go to the long basket. It'll just feed its way through there. Or you can dive at this basket, but just be aware it's right up next to the water. But this is really how people love to finish, getting over this creek, landing in this area for a great flashy birdie to finish off their round here at Inverness. Well, folks, thank you so much for sticking with me. It was a quick whirlwind round around Inverness, and I hope this helps you out, and I hope to see you out on the course. Once again, I'm Pete Collins. Take care.